Good morning. It's time for Two Guys on Sports. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Dick. Well, fresh off your debut on Zaleski Sports on Tuesday night.
Pretty interesting time doing a solo, I'll tell you that. Nobody to lead on up there.
Yeah. I did get a chance to listen to it. Did a good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
I said the only challenge was the pregame show, trying to fill 10, 15 minutes by myself. It ain't easy.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. Yeah, no, it isn't. No.
The game itself the flow of it makes it a lot easier. So.
And a little easier when it's on TV.
Absolutely.
You don't have to describe everything
right.
like you do on the radio.
But it was fun, and I'm get a chance to do it again. I'd do it in a second. So.
All right. And the game you had Tuesday night, Neillsville gets back in the winning column, beating Gilman 71-43.
Yeah. Gilman, down a little bit, very young team, and one of their better scorers was out sick on the night, but Warriors just came out and had a different aura about them, Larry. The ball movement and everything else was just sharp last night, and of course they came out banging threes. Andrew Hazer banged 2 down right away, and Jones banged down 3 more quickly, and quickly you're up 16-2 or whatever it was, but just a dominant night on the boards for the Warriors. Dominant. Now, we talked before about freshman Adam Hazer, a double-double last night, 10 points, 13 rebounds. Just an excellent effort on the boards. So
52 rebounds is what they had him down for as a
and
team.
It's maybe a little high because about 3 or 4 times that they had 3 or 4 shots at the basket. But
hey. I did see that one time. There was about 3 or 4 times they missed the shot.
Inflation is a normal word these days.
That's right. Whatever it takes, get the stats up there.
But anyway, and I thought the other freshman, Landon Rakestraw, Larry, didn't score much, and you had said he's dealing with a little illness, but I thought Landon probably played his best floor game of the season. Seemed like he was seeing the court a whole lot better. And in the second half, he had 3 or 4 of the most beautiful assists I've seen all year from him.
And that's what they're looking for him to do.
Absolutely. He was finding the open man, and that is key, too.
Be that floor general that
you bet.
That they need. So Neillsville now improves to 3-1 in the conference.
Yeah.
You look at their record in the conference, and then you look at their overall record.
But then you look at that non-conference schedule.
Yeah.
And you Stratford, Auburndale, Marathon, and let's go back last Friday night, Larry. What a great effort by the Warriors against a very good Marathon team. Probably had their chances down the stretch, lost it in overtime, but still a pretty good effort. But they've put a good effort against all these teams. Not to say, and also against a team like Loyal too.
Right.
They were 54-50 up at Loyal, and you look at the Tuesday night what Loyal did to Marshall Columbus in that gym, and Loyal is on a roll right now.
They're on a roll. So. That's just the next team I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
They stay undefeated. They go 10-0 on the seson, 4-0 in the conference with that win over Columbus Catholic, and they're showing a little dominance now.
Right now, all their guns are blazing. You got Stiglitz and Deegan from the outside. And then you got that 3-headed monster up front with Tolfar, Walter, and then Lamovic coming off the bench. And like I said before, I believe Lamovic will be the best of the 3 eventually, but they just dominated against Columbus. I'm watching the tape of that game the other night and just dominated Columbus up front.
Columbus really doesn't have the size to
No,
match
absolutely
up with
not. And let's give credit. They did a pretty good job of getting out on Konechny, which is what you got to do too. So, I mean, he's their high scorer, but
right.
They held him down. I think they took off and got off on a 10 or 12-0 run to start the game too, and that always slows Columbus down big time. So
they're not built like they were in years
no,
past.
Absolutely,
to come back quick.
Absolutely. They don't have the inside game, and of course, Mac is one of their few options outside too. And of course, you're not going to beat Loyal in a press or whatever because you got good ball handlers coming up, and just. Right now, they are in midseason form, and it'll be interesting how far they can go now.
Yeah, they are still ranked 3rd in the state in Division 5 with that 10-0 record. And it'll be interesting once it gets tournament time. They still have some games. They got Auburndale down the road yet. That might be a good test.
That's going to be a good tell. They've got a game with Owen Withey, and they've got to come down to Neillsville, and they've got to go to Columbus. They have one at Spencer, they have one at Colby. But traditionally Loyal has never played well in the field house,
right?
And Columbus is always a tough place to play. So they've got some tests coming down, and then whoever they face from the west, maybe if they do take first, probably a bloomer, probably down the line. Maybe I'm thinking. So we'll see. Anything goes up for grabs there. So
and when you're that team, teams are going to play their best against you.
Absolutely. all of a sudden you become the unknown, you become the known, and you get everybody's best shots now.
Yeah, you become the target now.
Yeah, you bet.
You become the target. Everybody wants to
you become the hunted instead of being the hunter.
Right. Yep. That's right. Spencer, speaking of surprises, surprising Owen Withee by a point the other night. So now Neillsville is in second place, a half game ahead of Owen Withee.
And that makes for a big battle tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We're going up to Owen Withee tomorrow night, and it's going to be a battle.
Yeah.
You know, Russ Weiler's going to have his kids ready to play, and Neillsville coming off a good performance. It should be a heck of a ball game up there.
And it's always that's one of those gyms we always talk about.
Yeah,
It's tough to play in.
Yeah, but the Warriors won at Columbus. They played well at Loyal. I think they'll do well here too. So
7:15 game time tomorrow night for that one on 92.7 WPKG. On the girls' side, we take a look at Neillsville going up to Regis, beating Regis by 11. And I tell you, Regis is ranked in the state, but Fall Creek looked a lot better than Regis.
I was gonna, last Friday night I said I had the best of all worlds. I said I stayed home. And I was flipping YouTube channels between the Loyal Pittsville game, the Neillsville Marathon game, and I had you guys on the radio. And I thought maybe Neillsville for the first time, and I can remember, Larry, did not play during Christmas vacation.
Yeah.
I think that do you think that long layoff hurt them? Or?
They didn't hit their shots, and that hurt them. I mean, their mid-range, the threes that they made on Tuesday against Regis, they didn't make against Fall Creek. But I tell you, Fall Creek, their defense was in your face everywhere.
They know how to play it there,
Yeah.
and it might turn out. They've had a couple of losses this season, but it could easily be the best team in the West. I think so.
And Fall Creek now in the top 10 in Division 4. In fact, you got Neillsville at 7, Regis 8, and Fall Creek 9.
And Bangor 10th.
And Bangor 10th. And they're not all in the same regional. No, Aquinas and Bangor.
Aquinas is 6th, Neillsville is 7th, Bangor is 10th. They're all in the same sectional.
Yeah, sectional. So, that'll be interesting later on.
Yeah, D4 is going to be a fight this year.
It is.
So, and that's after Laconia moved up. So.
And they're ranked 3rd in Division 3.
Yeah, they got a loss this last week too.
Yeah, they did.
They lost to they have 2 losses on the season. They lost earlier in the season to Homestead, and this last week lost to Kettle Moraine Lutheran. So maybe not quite as good as they were. But.
Speaking of losses, Assumption took a loss.
To Pacelli.
To Pacelli, so now they are 9-1. Yeah. But then they come back and they beat Stratford to still hold first place in the Marewood South.
But that's interesting with Pacelli because they're going to be, if they're not in the same regional, they're going to be in the same sectional. So, so that's going to be pretty interesting matchup. So.
All right, and then Auburndale and Marathon hooked up on Tuesday night. Auburndale won, so now they're tied at 4-2 in the Marewood South. And that Marewood South for the girls is just as tough as it is for the boys.
And Auburndale, last year we seen them in the regional final against Neillsville. They were very young, and I think Coach Howley has got a pretty good ball club over there. Assumption is going to be tough to beat, but I think Auburndale is going to give any battle. And I think Stratford will too. So.
Yeah, now you look at the boys' side of that Marewood South. You got Auburndale and Stratford 4-1, Marathon and Assumption 3-1.
And they are just going to battle. And I kind of feel sorry this week. They're doing the crossover with the North, and there's nobody in the North probably who can hold a candle to anybody in the South, So.
But then next Tuesday, Auburndale's at Marathon and Assumption's at Stratford.
Absolutely.
So that'll change the standings.
That'll be the tail of the tape. That's one of those nights where you just stay home and watch that night. So.
A little change of the standings.
Yes, for sure.
The Valley Conference for the boys, Marshfield 2-0, but they've had some tough non-conference games as of late.
Including a trip down to Florida,
right?
Where they play a team from Tennessee and I believe another team from Florida. But I think Coach Fisher is in a pretty good position over there. Got one of the best players in the state in Brooks Hinson. So,
Wausau East really dominating in that.
Yeah, which is surprising. It's been a while for Wausau East. It just seems like they're kind of the lesser known in that Wausau area. You got West, and then you got DC Everest, and then Newman has always played pretty well. But East and it's in all sports. Football, they seem to be a big comeback in D2.
Must be one of those those classes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I think Wausau East is on the comeback pretty good. So.
They're ranked 6th this week in Division 2 in the state.
Yes.
All right, so that's basketball, what's going on here. High school wrestling, Neillsville Greenwood Loyal getting back into action tonight.
Yes, at the Fieldhouse.
First chance to watch them if you haven't seen them.
Yeah, it's Parents' Night, and it's a triangular. I'm not sure the exact schedule. Bloomer Colfax and Stanley Boyd are coming in, And I believe the last match of the night is Nielsville and Stanley Boyd. So I'm thinking it's NGL and Bloomer Colfax, and then the other two will be in the middle, and then Stanley Boyd, NGL will finish it up. So,
Okay.
So,
All right.
And Parents Night, they're going to introduce the parents before the last match. So
Stanley Boyd, Bloomer Colfax. Anything about those
Not,
two?
you know, Stanley Boyd, new coach this year. Well, it was passed from brother to brother, is what it was. So,
Okay.
But they're down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, Bloomer Colfax always seems to have. They always have some outstanding wrestlers, but they have for a co-op they really have trouble filling weights.
Okay.
So, but
All right.
there is a heck of a quad tonight, though, Larry, over at Marathon. You have Stratford, Auburndale, Edgar, and Marathon.
Wow.
So that is about three Stratford, Auburndale, and Marathon, three of the best D3 teams in the state, and all together in one place. So
Wow. It's like a sectional going
yeah,
on
you bet. Yeah, so team sectional right
Yeah.
there. So, but
Cool.
And then tomorrow night, Marshfield is traveling to. They're hosting Spash tonight, and tomorrow night they are going to be part of a big quad down in Holman. Fenimore, who is routinely one of the best teams in D2 and D3. Holman, an outstanding D1 team, and then Wanakee and Marshfield, all down at Holman
wow.
High School. So, and speaking of the Tigers, a couple of Tigers got some big matches last week. Ava Gardner, who defending state champion, of course, in girls at 100, but she wrestled, got a forfeit for the boys at 103 the other night. Her 100th career win.
Yeah, I
and
did
I
see
don't
that.
think there's many girls in the state that got 100 wins.
Maybe Izzy Sonnentag.
Yeah, Izzy.
Maybe.
Well, there's Brooke Corrigan over at De Pere, but
Yeah, but not many.
Not many.
No.
But, and then Caleb Dene that night pinned Seafelt from Wausau East in 42 seconds. That gave him 172 wins, and that tied Brad Dozal for all time in Tiger history. And of course, with that match tonight against Spash, I'm assuming that record will go down tonight. So
And now, for those that may not know, you look at 172 wins.
Yeah.
But compare that to like basketball, 1,000 points.
yeah.
Where's 1,000 if you were in
Okay,
wrestling?
I always thought 1,000 was 100 wins.
Okay.
And now we're at 150. It's 1,500, and now guys are getting to 200 wins. But you see a lot of kids in the state getting 2,000 career points.
Sure,
You know,
yeah.
so yeah.
So
I believe-
172 is up there.
Yeah, it's up there. And quite honestly, when Brad Zolzo got those 172 wins, they didn't have quite the matches they have today.
As
they
many.
go go to a lot more tournaments. And Caleb Dene is a recruit for the University of Wisconsin. Brad Dozel, of course, wrestled at the University of Minnesota. So they both went to big time programs. They're going
Could wrestle each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
And then, speaking of wrestling in Wisconsin, Stephen Buchanan in Iowa
coming
are
down,
up.
coming to town.
Yeah, coming to Madison.
Yeah.
This, what is it, Sunday or
Sunday,
Saturday?
I believe.
Sunday,
I believe. So that should be big time. So it's,
Yeah.
Hopefully, if you haven't had a chance to see Steven wrestle, it's a good chance to go down to Madison. It's not a short drive to see him wrestle. So
And you might want to get there quick.
yeah,
These matches don't last all that long
they
sometimes.
don't. No, they don't. So. Okay.
All right, any other wrestling news to pass
this
along?
Saturday, Abbey Colby, Athens, Edgar, Wausau West, NGL, Nakusa, Assumption, Mosinee, Stanley Boyd will all be at the Blue Jay Challenge at Merrill. So,
Oh, okay.
which is a pretty big size tournament.
Yeah,
So it's a very
sounds
nice
like-
tournament. So a couple other high school, two other, I guess I got. here.
Okay.
No, one other. The Wisconsin Fast Pitch softball coaches announced their 2025 induction class. Virgil Burnt from Medker and then Ann Molsky from Stevens Point Pacelli, Larry, are two of the inductees. That'll be Saturday, February 1st at Wisconsin Dells, and that's in conjunction with their annual coaches clinic down
Okay.
there. So Ann has been the head coach at Pacelli since 2005. She's been to 10 state tournaments with 4 champions and 2 runner-up. And, of course, Ann is Ann Bredlow, originally from Neilsville.
Yes,
So,
congratulations to her. Boy, I
absolutely.
thought she'd be in there already.
yeah, I don't.
Wow.
I thought she was inducted into the Pacelli Hall of Fame in 2017. So,
Okay,
So
all right.
But I couldn't find her. Back then, they were talking that she was already 300 wins. Well, she's long past that
Oh,
now.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
But she has really built up a program, and,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe she's been at well over 30 years. A first grade teacher in the Pacelli
okay,
elementary system. So
All right, again,
Doing well.
congratulations to her.
Yeah.
Good job.
nice person too.
All right, hockey, some Neilsville kids still doing well, especially on the
Yeah.
boys' side.
Yeah.
Ryan Magnuson.
Ryan
goal.
Magnuson, I believe he's got 7 goals now
Yeah.
in the season. Hannah got another assist, and he's He's got about 6 goals and about 5 assists. Zach Magnus, a lot of assists. So these 3 have really been a big part of that program down there. Took her on the chin at Somerset Tuesday night, but pretty solid, though.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. All right. Wisconsin Valley Union, of course, that involves some Marshfield kids on the girls' side. They lost to Fox City Stars, but I see Central Wisconsin Storm. That's a team that's more
Everest,
up by Wausau area.
Everest, Mosinee.
They're ranked in the state.
Oh, yeah.
year,
They've been
this week.
tough. Yeah, that co-op, and then you got the one out of the Eau Claire area is always very strong. You have one come out of the Cooley area is very strong, and all 3 are generally pretty close to being in the state tournament every year. So.
Yeah. All right. With that, let's do something we haven't done in a
The
while.
return of Where Are They Now? Yeah, I had to dust this one off. I wrote
right.
it so long ago. But anyway, we're going up to Stratford, Larry, and we're going to talk about Travis Erlob. And Travis is a 2013 graduate of Stratford High School. In the fall, Travis was a 3-year letter winner on the Stratford football team. His junior year, the Tigers were 7-4, qualifying for the WI Division V playoffs, where they lost in Level 2 to Kobe. Travis rushed for 968 yards and 15 touchdowns and had 5 receptions for 120 yards and 1 touchdown. On defense, he had 27 tackles and 1 pass interception. He was a first-team selection at running back on the Merriwood All-Conference team. His senior year, Stratford was 8-3, qualifying for the WI Division V playoffs, where they lost to Amherst in Level 2. Travis had 115 carries for 724 yards and 12 touchdowns. He caught 5 passes for 154 yards and 1 touchdown. On defense, he had 24 tackles and 1 pass interception. He was a first-team selection at running back on the Merriwood All-Conference team. In the winter, Travis was a 3-year letter winner on the Stratford basketball team. His sophomore year, the Tigers were 12-11 on the season, losing to Marathon in the regionals. Travis averaged 4.7 points per game. His junior year, the Tigers were 20-5 on the season. They were regional champs, losing in the sectional semis to Amherst. Travis averaged 7.1 points per game on the season. His senior year, Stratford was 16-8 on the season, losing to Auburndale in the regionals. Travis averaged 10.6 points per game. In the spring, Travis was a 3-year letter winner on the Tiger baseball team. His sophomore year, Stratford was 3-15, losing to Colby in the regionals. Travis batted .237 with 3 RBIs. His junior year, the Tigers were 17-6 on the season, losing in the regionals to Athens. Travis batted .275 with 8 RBIs and was honorable mentions choice on the Merriwood South All-Conference team. His senior year, the Tigers were 11-6 on the season, losing to Pacelli in the regionals. Travis batted .295 on the season with 15 RBIs and was a second-team selection on the Merriwood South All-Conference team. After graduation, Travis enrolled at UW Stout and joined the Blue Devil football program. His freshman year, Stout was 4-6 on the season. Travis played special teams. His sophomore year, Stout was 2-8 on the season. Travis had 11 carries for 25 yards. His junior year, the Blue Devils were 3-7 on the season. Travis carried the ball 63 times for 350 yards and 1 touchdown and had 6 receptions for 57 yards. His senior year, Stout was 3-7 on the season. Travis carried the ball 132 times for 488 yards and 4 touchdowns and had 12 receptions for 68 yards. For his career at Stout, Travis carried the ball 206 times for 863 yards and 5 touchdowns and had 18 pass receptions for 125 yards. Travis graduated from UW Stout in 2017 with a degree in construction management. Today, Travis is employed as a project manager for Iron Mass Building Company based in the Twin Cities. Ironmark is a company that is dedicated to delivering products that exceed client expectation while upholding the highest standards of safety and integrity. Travis and his wife Kyra and their family reside in Wayzata, Minnesota. Travis Erlob, Larry.
All right, there you go. Is that John's kid?
Yes. Yep. Grandson of Benny and Jenny.
Yes. From the Neillsville area, of course.
Yep. John was a 1977 graduate of Neillsville High School, and I just wonder how son of John Erlob became a basketball player. Because John was an outstanding wrestler, as were many of his siblings.
Yes. They were all pretty good wrestlers back in the day. All right, let's get into college football. Of course, the college football playoff semifinals start tonight with one game in the Orange Bowl. Notre Dame against Penn State at 6:30 on ESPN.
Yeah, it should be a pretty good game. Notre Dame, of course, lost a day of practice, I guess, but I don't because of the deal in New Orleans. So,
Right.
But I'll tell you what, I think Notre Dame is playing at a very high level last night. I expect them to beat Penn State.
Okay, all right. And then tomorrow night, the Cotton Bowl Classic, Ohio State against Texas.
Yeah, and there again, I believe Ohio State is playing the best football of anybody in the country right now. And I think even though it's pretty much a home game for Texas, I believe Ohio State will win this game.
Now, what do you think of the 12-team thing? Because all 4 of the teams that got by lost.
Yeah. Then we get back to the rusty. We talk about the Nielsville girls. Here's some of these teams didn't play for almost a month.
Right.
And so I don't know. I said I probably would have liked it better if they would have done a more natural seeding. As much as I like, and I thought Arizona State played a great game.
Yeah, they did.
Against Texas. They played a great game. But to me, Boise State had no business being a 3 seed. No, none whatsoever,
No.
Larry. So,
No.
No. But Ohio State was an 8 seed. They beat the number 1. But who knows? So, but dominated them too.
Yes, they did. Yeah, that was the game that everybody I think wanted to watch, and it was over in a hurry.
And of course, the Notre Dame Georgia game. No Carson Beck for Georgia, so that's got to make a difference too. So,
Right. So the winners tonight and tomorrow night play in the College Football National Championship, and here we got another couple of weeks. off.
I said
January 20th.
Yeah, the guys tonight aren't going to play for 11 days.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, they're sure stringing that out.
Yeah,
Monday, January 20th is going to be a busy day.
Yeah, it is. Inauguration
Day. You've got the national championship.
Yeah.
I think I'm off, or Nielsville girls play Mosadini.
Yeah. I said instead of the NFL trying to hog the whole weekend, and I do not see why the NFL needs to have a Monday night.
Yeah, right.
I would make that schedule so that championship game was this Monday night instead of a wild card game. And don't get me wrong, it should be a great game, but I think that
Everybody's got to have their own night.
Saturday and Sunday, and I know they got all these networks to appease now,
Yeah.
and so I don't know. I think that should be the reserve for the college football, but they are stretching this out for everything it's worth.
They are. It used to be the Monday after New Year's was the championship.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now it's January 20th.
Because the last Monday night game would be, and then the next Monday night would be the championship game. But now you got extra rounds with the 12 teams. So I don't know. So
yeah, who are we?
Yeah.
Who are we to speak?
Again.
Speaking of the NFL, they start the NFL wildcard weekend on Saturday.
Yeah.
The Chargers are at Houston on CBS. What do you think of that game? That'd be
I like
interesting.
the Chargers are playing very well.
Yeah.
And Houston is not.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the Chargers. Yeah, even at Houston. So.
And then you got Pittsburgh and Baltimore, an NFC North
Yeah.
matchup.
You know what really stinks about this game is it's on Prime Video.
I know. There's your network. There's their thing. They're
Put-
sneaking in there.
Put that one in the afternoon on Prime Video and this one on CBS
right,
is
yeah.
what it should be.
Yep.
Watching Baltimore against Pittsburgh, was that last Sunday already?
Yeah.
Baltimore handled them pretty nicely. Russell Wilson does not look good at quarterback these days.
No.
so.
Sunday, you got Denver at Buffalo.
Yeah.
Early game.
Buffalo playing very well at Buffalo. I like Denver as a team, though. Bo Nix is doing a great job, but
Boy, it's at Buffalo.
yeah, it's at Buffalo. And if Kansas City doesn't rest all their people, Denver's not even in the playoffs. So
Right. Yeah,
yes,
you're right.
But yeah, Buffalo will be definitely the win there. So
Green Bay and Philadelphia, 3:30 on Fox Sunday.
it pains me to say this, but I just don't see the Packers going into Philadelphia and winning. Quite honest, it pains me to say it, but
I know. Well, especially the way they look Sunday.
Sunday they just looked lethargic. I said, mentally it just wasn't there. And,
To me, it looked like Chicago was playing to win, and Green Bay was playing not to lose.
but yes, absolutely, absolutely. And, I said, I get a little irate at some of LaFleur's play calling. I said these jet sweeps to Jalen Reed to the short side.
Short side, right.
I just have a problem with that. You can't get blockers out there, but it's easy to get 3 defenders out
Sure.
there. And just Jaden Reed has speed. Let him go to the wide side and give him a chance to maneuver. He has no chance to do any maneuvering. But I guess another thing, Malik Willis has been with the team the whole season now. you don't have to be conservative when
No.
Malik Willis is in
Right.
quarterback. You don't. You can play the way you do
Yeah,
when
'cause he-
Jordan's Love is there.
He
So
did it before. He won 2
absolutely,
games.
absolutely. So and of course, it's not Matt LaFleur's fault that Christian
Watson.
tripped and
No.
but if Romeo Dobbs had been healthy, would Watson played? I wonder,
yeah.
So, but it's and Jordan Love that was a freak thing too,
Right,
so,
right. But he should be ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So-
that was
so.
just one of those
But
things that
they just haven't had a lot of luck stopping Philadelphia over the years.
no, they haven't.
And they're they're a little short in the defensive backfield, without Alexander.
But the Packers have won their last 4 wild card games.
They
so-
have too, and and I said I always tell people go back to 2010. They were the number 6 seed. They went to Philadelphia and won. So
Yeah, went all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's so it can happen, but I guess maybe Larry, I'm going off last Sunday's game, maybe a little too much. But I this team is capable of so much more. Hopefully they can find
Yeah,
it. So.
yeah. Washington, Tampa Bay, Sunday night. Not a bad matchup.
Not a
there.
bad matchup. Washington playing very well, as is Tampa Bay. It could be a lot of points scored this game, so there's not a lot of defense on both sides. So
And Minnesota's at Los Angeles take on the Rams.
That's
Monday
going to be
night.
interesting if it happens here because right now you got those wildflowers.
That's what they're talking about. Yeah.
I said if this, of course that's a few days away, but could be interesting. That might, and I don't know if it get moved to a neutral site or not, but. Right now, the LA has got some real problems out
They
there
got
with
a lot of
wildfires,
fires,
so-
and they are having a hard time trying to
absolutely.
fight those fires with heavy winds.
Yep.
By the way, the NFC and NFC Championship games, as well as Super Bowl 59 on Westwood One, will be broadcast on 92.3 FM WOSQ.
Oh, super. Wonderful.
That's January 26th for the championship games and February 9th for the Super Bowl.
Okay, wonderful.
One other note in baseball, I see Justin Verlander signed a one-year deal with the Giants.
So,
42 he's going to be next month.
wow. Still got an arm, but he's
Last
had
year has career worst E
a
ERA.
lot of health problems, and the arm has had a lot of arm problems. But I think it's a pretty good shot for the
That's a lot of money, though.
for him. It is for a 42-year-old any pitcher. It's a lot of
$15 million.
Yeah, that's I don't know.
You're
Like I
expecting
said,
a lot out of him.
yeah. He is going to a big ballpark out there, so
Yeah, that'll help him a little bit.
He'll have Willie Adames behind him, so.
There you go.
But a place like San Francisco, a big park like that can make a better pitcher out of you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. He was pitching in a pretty good cozy ballpark down there in Houston.
He was.
so,
He was.
So
Getting back to the Packers, we got about a minute and a half here left. Their 2025 opponents were released.
yeah,
They've got, let's see, Philadelphia, Washington, Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Carolina at Lambeau Field.
yeah.
And then they have Dallas, the Giants, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Denver, and Arizona on the road.
Yeah. They're facing the whole East next year, so which is, you got Philly, Washington, and Dallas right there. So it's going to be tough, and who knows? So. And you got your own division to worry about too. Cause
Yeah, that's a big thing.
it'll be because I don't see Detroit and Minnesota going away next year yet.
No.
So, and who knows about Chicago? Who they're going to bring in? A lot of talk about them trying to get Mike McCarthy, which I thought was interesting.
Well, they had an interview today scheduled with Pete Carroll.
Carroll, yeah. So and one other comment I like from Rex Ryan. So he's going to interview with the Jets,
Yep.
and if he gets that job, it'll no longer be a country club for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
But who knows if they're going to even pay Rodgers to be around next year? Who knows? So,
Yeah.
did look good last Sunday though. So.
Some people are saying Packers 9-8
Yeah.
next year, based on what they have for opponents.
What they say this year about 10-6, but yeah, it's I don't know. So many things happen in a year's time, Larry, health-wise and everything else.
Look at the Vikings; they were only supposed to get
Yeah.
6 wins.
Yeah, and who knows? Who knows what they're going to – if they don't keep Sam Darnold and maybe they go with J.J. McCarthy next year, they could be back to 6 or 7 wins. So who knows? One injury.
That's all it takes.
Jared Goff goes down to Detroit. They're probably 7 or 8 win team. So it's who knows? So
Girls basketball tonight. Neelsville is at Colby, looking for their 77th win in a row in the Eastern Clover Belt. 7:15
unbelievable.
on
So-
92.7 WPKG.
Big game up at Owen Withy tomorrow night.
Yep,
So
that one as well on 92.7 WPKG. That'll wrap it up for this week. For Two Guys on Sports, I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson.
We'll talk to you again next week.